Ford have just made what I think is, guys, a very controversial decision, and it's something that's going to come back to bite them in the future. I mean, in a big, big way. But obviously, internal combustion fans, they are shouting with glee. They are so excited about this decision. Personally, though, I think if you're a Ford investor, you're going to have to think twice about whether or not you continue to hold your position. If you are holding your position right now, I question your sanity. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking, guys. It's fantastic to see you. I want to say I will be at the EV show in Melbourne on the 11th of August. I'll put a link in the description so you can get tickets very, very cheap, and would love to see you at the show. There's going to be some great new EVs there. A lot of them actually with pretty impressive range. Ford, speaking of EVs, they had planned on building electric cars at a large factory that they have in Canada. It was meant to be their EV hub. But Ford is saying now it was their electric vehicle complex. That's what they called it, actually, Oakville Electric Vehicle Complex. Now it's the Oakville truck plant. Ford announced plans last year to transform its Oakville assembly into a Canadian hub of electric vehicle manufacturing. And Canada was happy about this. They're like, well, that's the future. Great. We will support this. We'll help invest in this. It's sort of like a partner with the government to some degree. Production of next-gen electric vehicles was meant to begin soon in 2025. And Unifor's national president said the facility would build 5 different models of EV for the Canadian car market. Fast forward to today, Ford is, well, it's changed its mind. The facility will now build F-Series Super Duty pickups. So, guys, F-150 pickups, they're big, right? We're talking bigger than that. Super Duties, as in very, very large pickup trucks. Production will begin in 2026, when apparently there's going to be massive demand for enormous internal combustion pickup trucks. And Ford said the plant will have a capacity of, well, about a bit over 100,000 annually. Now, I don't imagine that Canadians would buy more than 100,000 Super Duty pickup trucks. Pickup trucks, yeah, but Super Duties probably not. I'm confused. Maybe Ford's plans on sending some of these to the United States. Ford said this move secures about 1,800 jobs, and it will boost production of one of the company's most popular and profitable vehicles. Key word, popular today, profitable today. What about in 5 years from now? Ford's got no idea. Ford are just winging it. They are literally winging it. I mean, really. Ford has added a bonus of giving a Super Duty production site for manufacturing where the UAW cannot get to it. Now, the UAW can't basically enforce its rules and everything else that it has, make its cut from Ford's factory in Canada. The union famously shut down the Kentucky truck plant in 2023, which infuriated Ford. And earlier this year, the UAW threatened to shut down the plant again if local contract issues weren't resolved. As a result, Ford had to sign a new contract where they were forced to pay a lot more money. And they're very, very angry about that. The two sides eventually patched things up. Ford still said that thousands of jobs would be lost as a result of these new union contracts. So you can see why Ford would want a Super Duty plant without the UAW headaches in Canada. At the same time, getting rid of the production of 5 different models of EV would suggest to say that Ford thinks the future might not be electric for Ford after all. Now, besides that problem, Ford CEO Jim Farley said, even with our Kentucky truck plant and Ohio assembly plant running flat out, we can't meet demand for Super Duty pickups. Apparently by adding production in Canada, Ford will be able to get trucks to consumers and build their Ford Pro commercial business. Now, personally, I don't really understand this, because if Ford were to use, say, batteries that several EV manufacturers now in China are using, say, for example, CATL's Shensing battery. There's a few different batteries now that could give an electric truck about 450 to 500 miles of range. Now, you could do that, right? A Super Duty truck could get that kind of range. And it really is possible, because Battery costs have come down so much that I believe you could make a truck for not much more money, maybe even on parity if you were mass manufacturing them, with a battery. And it would be so much better than these ancient internal combustion engine, these ancient diesel vehicles. Anyway, Ford will invest around $3 billion into the plant to make internal combustion engine Super Duty pickups. So it's investing that from now. Remember, guys, there's a few different manufacturers worldwide now that say that they will no longer invest in internal combustion at all, period. The game is over. So is Ford right, or are they right? Well, since Volvo made that decision, their sales have increased by more than 50%. Ford said it will add approximately 150 jobs at its Windsor engine complex to cope with increased big truck production. Now, Ford haven't said much about the impact on their EV, basically their EV goals. But it appears Ford has abandoned plans to call the plant its Oakville Electric Vehicle Complex. Instead, they'll call it its Oakville Assembly for internal combustion or something like that. Anyway, Ford said they are committed to developing a growing and profitable electric business, profitable being the key word. I don't know if Ford can ever do that, considering how much they lose right now on EVs, including 3-row electric utility vehicles, leveraging its experience as a leader in the United States in 3-row utilities and as America's #2 electric vehicle brand. Clearly, EVs are not a priority anymore for Ford, and the reason is because they lose too much money on every EV they sell. They're losing billions every quarter, not every year, every quarter. So every few months, Ford is losing astronomical amounts of money because its EV production is so inefficient. That's the truth. There's no other way of putting this. Ford retimed the launch of their 3-row electric vehicles to 2027. So they're delaying the launch of these 7-seat EVs by a couple of years now. That's 2 years behind schedule. In April, Ford said the additional time will allow the consumer market for 3-row EVs to further develop and enable Ford to take advantage of emerging battery technology with the goal to provide customers increased durability and better value. Basically, Ford are saying, we're not ready yet to provide you with any good large electric vehicles. So wait till 2027. We might be ready then, hopefully.